Focus, focus.
um, no, I do not.
Okay, so Ummah is the whole community of Muslims bound together by ties of religion. Okay? So, and the Muslims believe in one God, just like Jews and Christians. Judaism.
I know Jews pray in a temple and they read the Torah. And I also know their religious leader is the rabbi. And another thing I know is that they celebrate Hanukkah and Rosh Hashanah.
Okay, so just to add on a little bit, that I would like to tell you about the three sections or sectors of Judaism. We have the first is like Orthodox Jews, which they believe that both the written and the oral Torah are the divine origin and representations of the word of God. And we have the conservative Jews, where they attempt to combine both like a positive attitude towards the modern culture, mixing it up with the religion and like modernized concepts of the world today.
That's very
And and the last sector we have the Reform Jews, where the Jewish people try to like introduce innovations while sort of like preserving the tradition to embrace the diversity, while also like asserting commonality to like affirm beliefs without rejecting those that doubt and maybe question the religion.
That's very
As you said, they do pray in a temple with their rabbi as their, I guess, priest, the Jewish priest. And they have, do you know any of their holidays maybe?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I know their Rosh Hashanah and Hanukkah.
Okay, so do you know anything about the Rosh Hashanah?
No.
Okay, well, just to let you know that it's the Jewish New Year. It's sort of a festival. It is held on the first day of Tishri, which is September. And like, how in Islam we have the
Jewish calendar.
Yeah. And it's also sometimes in the second or like, first day of September. It is marked by the blowing of the shofar, and it begins with the 10 days of patience and in Yom Kippur, which is another holiday. Do you know anything about the mitzvah?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you know anything about a mitzvah?
I'm actually not really sure, but what one of my Jewish friends told me, I guess it's kind of like a good deed.
As you said, mitzvah does actually mean good deed, and it also translates to a commandment or command, and it's basically one of the 613 commandments that Judaism and Jews believe in, and basically that's it. Thank you so much. Do you know what Jewish beliefs are?
Yeah, I know that they believe in one God, and they pray to one God. They see Him as one unit, and they know Moses was kind of like the prophet.
Okay, well, they believe, as you said, God exists, and He's one, and He's eternal, and all the prayers are directed to God alone, and the words of the prophets are true, but Moses was a prophet, and he was the greatest prophet, and they have the Torah, and that will be the only book, the holy book that they have. Do you know who the founder of Judaism?
Yeah, it's Abraham.
Okay. Do you know anything about the Western Wall?
No.
Okay, so a little history about that is Rome destroyed the Second Temple in Jerusalem in 770 CE, and the only outer wall remained standing, and for the Jews that remained as the most sacred building, where they would go and they would start praying, and they would just pray against, they would send their notes and their prayers to God. Do you know what the Talmud is?
The Talmud, you said?
Okay, so it's the generic term for the documents that were commented on and expanded upon the Mishnah, which is like the repeating. And it's the first work of the Rabbinic law, and it was published around the year 200 CE by the Rabbi Judah and in the land of Israel. Do you know what the Torah is?
Yeah, it's like, it's a scroll where like the stories like, you know, Jewish history and like the holidays and the backstory. That's what it means.
Okay, do you know who David was?
Yeah, he was one of the Jewish kings, and he had like fortress in like Jerusalem.
And just to add on that, he did unite the people of Israel, and he led them to victories. And he was the eighth and the youngest son of Jesse. And he was a direct descendant from the Ruth, and he began his life as a shepherd in Bethlehem. Thank you.
Do you know who Saul is?
I know that Saul is a member from the Old Testament in the Bible, as well as a member of the Torah. If I was going to go out on a limb, I would say that he is, he's obviously involved in one of the stories to teach us a lesson, but I feel like he might be the one that that followed what God said to a T, to the point that he actually caused problems for his family. Like, maybe this is the one where God said things along the lines of, like, to the devil, you know, Saul loves me so much that I could tell him to kill his family, and he would do so and still love me. I believe that's Saul, but I am not 100%.
Okay, so Saul was a member of tribe of Benjamin, and he was the son of Kish, who was a king in the state of Israel. And he had, according to the Tanka, Saul was the son of Kish, as I said, and his family is the Matrites, as you said. He did cause a little bit of problems, and he was one of the 12. The tribe of Benjamin was a tribe of 12 tribes of Israel. So it was one of the major tribes. That's one. And do you know who Solomon is?
I just know of, I'm not 100% sure of that. Possibly the one who, no, he doesn't lead them into the promised land, but he's one of the kings of Jerusalem.
So in the Bible, King Solomon was known for his wisdom and his wealth and his writings. He became a ruler approximately in 1967 before Christ, and his kingdom was extended from the Euphrates River Euphrates River in North Egypt to the south. And his achievements were that the building of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, and then that goes back to the Western Wall. And Solomon was the son of King David, and he was not even though like it's perceived as he was the oldest son of David, he was not. But David promised that he would become the next king. Last question: do you know what the Yom Kippur is?
Yom Kippur is a Jewish holiday, and it is, I believe, the holiday of atonement, where you know it's expected for members of the Jewish faith to fast, as well as pray.
Okay, to add on that, it is the most solemn religious fast of the Jewish year, as you said, and it lasts 10 days of patience that begin with the Rosh Hashanah, and which is the New Year, and it is considered to be the holiest day of the year. And basically, Jews on that day say next year in Jerusalem, so like hopefully next year they'll celebrate it in Jerusalem, which shows just how important the New Year is and how important Jerusalem goes back to the faith.
Certainly.
Thank you guys very much for your undivided attention. I know that could have been a little bit boring at times, and it could have been a little long, but you guys will be thanking us when you get a great grade on that test coming up.